Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, creepy people.
Hello.
I was like, what do I say?
Anything you want.
I really kind of forgot for a second there. I was like, what's next?
We haven't done this in a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah. But if you're new to our creepy corner of the world, this is P&W Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, spooky things, paranormal, weird stuff, witchy stuff, kind of whatever really floats our boat in the moment. But from the Pacific Northwest. That's kind of the...
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
We're really rusty.
That's kind of the what, Caitlin? What is it?
That's kind of the caveat, I guess.
It's the vibe.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the vibe.
The vibe.
We're all about the vibes today.
Do you know what else floats our boat and vibes are other parts?
Oh boy.
I didn't know where I was going with that, but I knew that I was going to say we do a tarot reading at the end of every episode for a little deeper insight into our topic.
That's true. Okay, cool. So we remember that. Sweet.
It's literally only been like 2 weeks.
I know. It feels like a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
It does. Because like a week went by. Well, I don't know. We don't need to talk about your wedding right now. But we can.
I did get married.
I did have things to say when we do the Creepy People Chronicles. So we could talk about it then. If you want.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to take up your whole episode.
No, we're good. It is a long one. And it's pretty sad. So,
well, that's your vibe.
I know. I've caught a vibe recently. Apparently my bridal era is over. I'm just really back in like the sad. I'm in my feelings and they are sad.
Great.
Yeah. So that's something to look forward to.
We can drink about it.
Yeah, we're going to drink about it. Okay. Announcements?
P&W something fest?
Yeah. True Crime Fest.
Thank you.
Northwest. I like that it rhymes. That helps me remember it. So that's Friday, August 30th, Saturday the 31st, and Sunday, September 1st.
3 whole days? What?
3 whole days.
We have to be there for 3 whole days.
Yeah. It's actually kind of half days on Friday and Sunday, but yeah.
Woo, half day. Yeah. It's like school.
Yeah. We got a half day.
Much funner than school. I'm not complaining about being there. I'm really excited. Because we haven't done a lot of festivals. We came off a year of like full of festivals. And then this year, nothing.
We hit like everything. And then this year, I mean, I guess we kind of had like this other festival that we were I was just comparing my wedding to a festival.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Did we go to one and I can't remember what it was?
No, it just, no, if anything, like planning for the wedding and everything was like, I feel like it was the same level of work as when we did like, I don't know, I think we did like 4 or 5 festivals the year before.
It was the event of the year.
Yeah. Woo!
It was.
Yeah.
It was so fun. We'll talk about it later. But it was
fun. We'll talk about it eventually. I'm ready to be done with you. You're over.
I'm not.
I'm so over you. No, I wish I could go back and spend a little more time there, but goes by quick. Everyone says it and I'm like, okay, we get it. But it does. So
yeah.
But come see us at True Crime Fest Northwest. It's going to be here in Portland. There's lots of great stuff going on at it. There's a ton of different speakers. I'm excited. And it looks like they're planning to do a drag bingo on Sunday.
A what?
So, drag bingo.
What is that?
I don't know, man, but I'm into it.
Like drag queen bingo?
Yeah, I think so.
No shit.
Yeah.
Because I got really excited when you said drag, and I was like, that can't be what she means. And I was like, no, but like, is it though?
Uh-huh. Oh, that's what she means.
So excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have a discount code still?
We do.
It's in the notes. I think.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes. I think it's Haunts 10. Don't quote me on that. It'll be in the notes. Find it in the notes.
Show notes.
Go to the notes.
Episode description.
Yeah. Then there's actually a self-defense class, it looks like, on the Friday night, too.
I want to do that so bad.
Yeah. All programming is free. So for that. Ooh. So that's a really awesome opportunity.
I really want to take, I think I've said it before, I want to take self-defense like regularly because you have to keep up on it.
Yeah.
I heard.
For sure.
Or you like forget what to do.
Yeah. Well, I think now that I'm no longer planning the festival of the year, aka my wedding, I think I could totally take up Krav Maga, right? Like, what else am I doing besides working full-time, this podcast, which is another full-time job, and like feeding and clothing and bathing myself, right? I just feel like it's time.
Yeah.
Enough excuses. Like,
I know. Get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Just work.
Yeah. You just got to work. Nobody wants to work anymore. Anyhoozle, I think that's all we really have for announcements. I just want to make sure we said something about that. It's at the time of recording this, just a couple of weeks around the corner. So it's real. It's coming. It's going to happen.
It's going to come and go so fast. And then before you know it, we'll be like, where did it go?
Exactly. All right. Well, I think we've drugged this out pretty much as long as we can.
Yeah.
So we should probably get into it.
Okay.
All right. The Mattson family home in the Point Defiance Park District of Tacoma was far from meager at a sprawling 6,400 square feet. It's a pretty big house.
That is a huge house.
It's a real big house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to clean that house.
No. No. It was located at 4605 North Verde Street, having been built in the mid-1920s in what I must assume was a pretty well-to-do neighborhood. I actually don't need to assume. If you live in a community where they're building, that's like a manor.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm. It's not the only one.
Yeah. From the back of the home, their property's lawn led to what sounds like almost like a park or like a community space that only Leslie Knope could dare to dream up.
Oh.
Sounds pretty cool.
I don't get the reference.
Oh my God.
I mean, I know it's Parks and Rec, but like, I don't.
Because Leslie Knope is like the just most effervescent public servant, and she works in the Parks Department, but she goes on to run for office, and she's just all about doing all the things for Pawnee.
Aw.
It's adorable.
So sweet.
It's adorable. She also has a massive crush on Joe Biden. It's real weird.
That didn't age well.
It gets real weird. I don't know. I mean, did it? Did it not?
He didn't age well. No, sorry. Let's keep going. Moving along.
Moving along. And I know we're not supposed to say spirit animal anymore, but if yours is a fictional white lady, is that still allowed? Just asking for a friend.
I don't know. Someone tell us if you don't like it.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean,
it's probably fine.
I feel like it's
I think the majority of our audience would be like, why aren't you supposed to say that?
I think our audience knows exactly why you're not supposed to say spirit animal.
Okay, maybe half.
Yeah.
Half our audience wouldn't know why.
It's halfsies, maybe. Source material described it as a path led down to a steep 300-foot terraced embankment to a picnic ground and swimming pool, railroad tracks, Ruston Way, and then the waterfront, crowded with docks and boathouses. So, pretty fancy.
I'm concerned about the railroad tracks being right in the middle of a park.
I don't know if it's in the middle of the park.
Oh, okay.
I'm not totally clear on that piece of the layout, but I mean, they're at the center of all the industry and all the happenings and the goings-ons and such.
Yeah.
The patriarch of the family was a well-known man in the local area as a respected physician. Daddy's a doctor.
Dr. Daddy.
Dr. Daddy. Though he graduated from medical school at the University of Pennsylvania, He had played football at the University of Washington for 3 years in the early 1900s. And there are pics. So we know that did happen.
Ooh, like old school football pics?
Yeah.
Cute.
Old-timey football uniforms.
Did they have leather helmets?
I don't think, at least not in the pictures, but they look like they're wearing the wooliest, scratchiest clothing. And I'm like, I wouldn't wear that even if I wasn't sportsing.
Well, but they had long johns on under.
Oh God, I can't. Ugh. This dude is checking boxes like he was preparing for his old-timey Tinder profile, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's kind of a catch.
Did you make one for him? Because I want to see it. Can we do that? Taylin. No,
we should mock one up. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, Taylin, if you have some free time.
Yeah. I think that'd be so funny. Daddy Doctor. Dr. Daddy.
Yeah.
His Tinder profile. Okay.
Are there pictures of him holding a fish?
Oh my God. I don't think so.
Damn it.
I know. I mean, honestly, how will he ever find love on Tinder without?
No one's going to swipe whatever way you swipe.
Yeah, which, the
good way.
The swiping.
I literally don't know which way is the right way.
I can't remember. I don't know.
That's okay.
It's fine.
I probably will never need to know.
Yeah. The internet is a dangerous place. Their live Christmas tree and outdoor light display was reported to have been recognized by the Tacoma Garden Club. But I'd wager it would take some serious digging to find any reporting on that topic because I couldn't find it.
Oh, so they weren't on the like PNW lights, Christmas lights
no.
map?
No.
Dang it.
Yeah, no, they weren't still doing their whole thing with the Christmas tree and the light show when that was established in the mid 2000s, I believe. But obviously, I haven't made it a habit to simply bring you all the wandering diatribes about idyllic families. Come, you knew this. Clearly, something not too idyllic is probably about to happen. Come, you knew this. And if that's what you were thinking, you'd be right. Because you knew this.
I don't want to be right.
I know. What you couldn't have known is that it would happen just days after Christmas.
Oh, you're a bitch.
I know.
You didn't save this one for Christmas?
I'm simply the worst. I mean, it's crazy how many crimes are committed right around Christmas. So, yeah. So I was just like, I think I got some other stuffs. I just, I felt like I needed to talk about this case. And I think we'll get to why I felt like I identified with this so readily. We're going to get to it.
Okay.
I know it's so sad. It's so much sadder. It's funny that you should mention that, though, because I said in my notes, next sentence, I might have saved this for that time of year had I come across it at a different time. But alas, here we are. As we record this, at least, it's Christmas in July. It is no longer July. We intended to record this in July. Missed it, overshot it by a few days. It's fine.
Christmas in August.
Yep. Cheesy, sure, maybe. But surely by now we all know that finding some way to present a bit of levity, if not hope, in these cases is what I strive for. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And so it was that on Sunday, December 27th, 1936, at roughly 8:45 p.m., that the youngest of the three Mattson children, Charles, was enjoying popcorn and root beer in his living room with his brother, William Jr., Billy, age 16, his sister, Muriel, age 14, and her friend from Seattle, Virginia Chatsfield, age 15.
Oh, the big city.
I know.
Virginia Chatfield.
Chatsfield.
Sorry.
Virginia Chatsfield.
That's a name.
Yeah.
I can't think of like what I want to put the name, like a news reporter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chatsfield. She could be a podcaster.
She really could be. Oh, wait. It's 1936. Oh, well. As they did so, a masked man armed with a handgun entered their living room. I guess he decided the holidays were officially over. After thoroughly terrorizing the children, that same man would simply pick Charles up and vanish into the night.
What?
But not before leaving a ransom note stating his $28,000 demand, which is an odd number, but whatever.
Right. You can like round up to 30 or 25.
I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable with, but that's fine. It's, it's his demand.
Maybe 28 is his lucky number.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't think it is his lucky number, but desirous of nothing more than his youngest child's safe return, Dr. William W. Mattson would make every attempt to pay that ransom, but to no avail. I'll save you the suspense from this moment forward. This is the oldest unsolved kidnapping case in Tacoma's history.
Holy shit, it's unsolved?
Yep.
Yikes.
On the surface, surely this seems like another case of a kid from a wealthy family gone missing, and you're not wrong. It takes me back to the Weyerhaeuser case episodes, though there's a notable difference. While I didn't examine side by side the account statements of the two households, the Mattsons were surely no match compared to the monetary wealth of the Weyerhaeusers. The Weyerhaeusers were like titans of industry. This is a wealthy family, but we're talking about, a single generation of wealth, essentially. I think it should go without saying, but I'll say it out loud. Every missing person, particularly a child, deserves to be found, regardless of their race, religion, and of course, societal status or their financial means. In some instances, even if you did have bottomless pockets, even that can't bring a loved one back. But it sure doesn't hurt. The night that Charles was kidnapped, or kidnaped, as was often reported in the papers at this time.
Oh, they misspelled it?
They misspell it. It's kidnaped.
Wow. How did papers? Who's the editor?
Honestly, I think that was just the common spelling back then.
Oh.
I think we looked at this when we did cover the Weyerhaeuser case because it came up and it was hilarious.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Very strange.
They just couldn't spell back then.
Yeah, it's just old-timey. Just old-timey stuff.
You had to go to a dictionary to check the spelling too, right? You couldn't just Google it or
That's true.
Obviously there was an autocorrect.
They did not have a Google machine.
No.
Honestly, one of these days I'm going to spiral down that etymological rabbit hole, but I digress.
You said a big word.
Yep. It's a word.
Word of the day.
Sure. That night, the Mattson children had been alone in the family home. Dr. Mattson and his wife, Hazel, had been attending a social function.
Aww.
While they waited, the children could hear someone knocking quite insistently on the French doors at the back of their home that led out to their terrace. So this person came in, into their backyard and came to the rear entrance of the home.
Oh.
It was Charles that volunteered to investigate further. When he returned at a running pace, he told the others that he had spotted a man wearing a mask. What was he doing out in their courtyard at this hour, you ask? Well, according to the eyewitness accounts that night, he'd been pounding on their door, which is already just a bit too much, but he'd also demanded entry to the home. That's going to be a no for me, dog.
Right? Yeah.
And that's what Charles said.
Good.
Yeah, he was like, I don't think so. Lastly, he'd been described as muttering incoherently, which is literally never how I want to describe anyone within close proximity to my home.
Mm-mm.
Even if Charles had been born at night, it wasn't last night. So clearly he refused to allow the man entry. But it turned out that he didn't exactly need permission, as he broke the glass panes of the door with his gun, simply reaching inside to turn the latch himself. Which begs the question, like, if that was such an easy option, why are you bothering giving the inhabitants of the home a heads up by knocking before making entry?
Right.
Like,
well, you said he like terrorized them for a while, so maybe that was just part of his.
Well, that's once he was inside the home.
Yeah, but maybe that was like part of it. Like he just wanted to like scare them.
I don't know. Honestly, I was reading this going like, does anybody else think this sounds like kind of some Florida man shit? Like, what's happening?
I wish, because that would mean he'd probably get caught.
From that point on, a nightmarish scenario unfolded as the intruder strode into the home, trailing the frightened little Charles Mattson. Once he had made his entrance into the living room, he shouted, "Don't you kids try anything, because I have a bulletproof vest on," as he demanded money, which is like, okay, but they don't have guns.
Because they're packing.
Yeah. The aggressive intruder searched Billy's pockets. That's the older brother. Good luck, bro. He's a 1930s teenager. If you expected him to have more than a nickel, then I guess you're even dumber than I assume you look. Which isn't saying much. 'Cause I assume you look very stupid.
What kind of mask was he wearing? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming it was some sort of like, probably similar to what you are picturing.
I was picturing a Richard Nixon mask. So,
perhaps not that then.
I don't know why.
Thinking like a ski mask or like a.
Did they have those back then?
Yeah, I mean, they might have been made of a different material, but yeah, I mean, they certainly had things like that back then. Yeah, okay. Or they could fashion them.
Yeah,
I mean, it was very common for them to just take some other, garment or remnant of fabric
slap it on their face.
Yeah, just cut some holes in it. Like you're a ghost for Halloween.
No. Don't ruin that.
I know, I'm sorry. The intruder demanded money and then searched Billy's pockets, finding nothing because he's a literal child. He muttered, "A home such as this should be good for some money." Okay. And Billy replied that they did not keep money in the house. It was then that the intruder snatched little Charlie, stating, "I want you to come with me. You're your father's favorite, so you're worth more money."
How does he know that?
Interesting question. Not a lot of interesting answers. In that there are no answers to that question.
Making shit up?
I mean, maybe. Maybe he'd been casing the house, family, whatever. Who knows?
Was he the youngest?
Charlie was the youngest. So, some people like the youngest the best.
Yeah, the youngest is usually the favorite.
I mean, I find them to be the most annoying, but, I might be biased.
I agree.
The oldest. Anywho.
We're both older sisters of a younger brother.
I mean, they get less annoying as they get older.
They do. That is true. That is true. For my brother, anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But I just feel like that's such a gross thing to say, period. Like, you're his favorite, so you're worth more money. But also, dude, like, his siblings are standing right there.
Yeah.
Like, awkward. But then, I guess that was the least of their problems at this point.
Right.
like I'm gonna look past that and try to see the big picture about like my younger brother is literally being kidnapped before my eyes.
God.
I cannot imagine. Yeah. No, thank you. He told the children not to call the police or he'd come back and shoot them. Seems like pretty standard fare for a bad guy. And this dude was obviously a bad guy. I mean, he has a mask.
Mask, gun.
This is the whole thing.
Stealing little kids equals bad guy.
Yeah. Voted YTA 10 out of 10 times by the Reddit community, for sure.
I know what that means.
Yeah.
I get the reference.
I've been listening to a lot of AITA stories recently, and they've infiltrated her brain space.
I only know because Caitlin has talked about it. I haven't gone looking. Should we tell my mom what it means? Because I don't think she knows.
Oh, yeah.
What's it mean?
So she knows exactly what it means, but she's like, I want to do know. What do you tell him. YTA is you're the asshole. There's, I think, let's see, I'm thinking of a couple of other ones that I've heard thrown around. ESH, everyone sucks here.
Oh, I've never heard that one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. And then NTA is not the asshole. Those are kind of the main ones. Those are the ones you need.
You need to know.
Those are your kind of core. Yeah.
There you go, Mom. You're welcome.
Okay. Actually, Reddit would probably be split in a surprising turn because Reddit is just wild. But whatever.
I don't like it.
People
it's too much.
Have so many opinions.
They do.
Yeah.
I only like to go find a spooky thing and then read the comments.
She's like, and we're out.
It's very specific what I look for on Reddit.
Yeah. As the man fled, the children watched him flee across the backyard and down the steep embankment toward Commencement Bay. No small feat with a reportedly 70-pound child. A terrified kid in tow.
I was going to say, how is he holding this kid?
I don't know, just throw him over his shoulder.
Oh, God.
Jesus. First of all, I'm not running until a cardiologist or a gangster is holding a gun to my head.
Cardiologist.
And even then, it's really going to depend on how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, not carrying a small, potentially screaming human while I do so. The running is hard enough.
I wonder if he said something, though, about hey, don't struggle, because...
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he told the not to call the cops or he'd shoot them, I wonder what he said to the kid.
Yeah, the
littlest.
Either way, though, of course he's going to be hysterically crying. I don't know. I'm just saying that's a special kind of hell. To each their own, I suppose. He's got his eyes on the prize, $28,000. Which I'm thinking about now, and I'm like, okay. Obviously inflation, but that wouldn't even pay off my student loan. So am I really going down this road? No.
Well, he probably didn't have student loans. Doesn't seem like the student type.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. William phoned the police. At first, it was unclear whether that was junior or senior, but additional research revealed that it was reportedly Billy, so the brother, that made the call.
So he didn't listen. Good.
Yeah. No, he was like, I do not follow instructions.
Good.
Yeah.
Good teenage boy for once.
Yeah, I know, right? Teenage rebellion for the win.
Yeah.
For the W. Based on the various descriptions gathered from the 3 young traumatized witnesses, the following picture emerged of the intruder. He was a man clad in a blue zipper jacket and a light-colored checkered cap. Some sources said white, while another said tan, with hairy hands.
Hairy hands?
Yeah.
They had zippers back then?
Yeah. Cassie is really, her mind is fully blown. That is not where I thought
going through my head at one time.
I just didn't think that would be the thing that you would focus on. You're like, zippers and hairy hands.
I was stuck on the zippers, and then you had said hairy hands, and that threw me, but I was still on the zippers.
Did you I feel like maybe I put those two descriptors too close together, because I feel like as I'm writing it and then as I'm reading it again, I'm just picturing his hairy hand getting caught in the zipper. Is that just me?
Yeah.
Am I the weirdo? Probably.
We should start a new Like, am I the asshole, but am I the weirdo?
Am I the weirdo?
Is that a Reddit thread? Should we start it?
I don't think so. Am I the weirdo?
We're going to blow up Reddit, you guys.
Yeah. It's ours now.
It's probably already.
I'm writing this down.
I feel like someone has come up with it.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's I've never seen that. I don't know.
Then
we'll check into it.
Genius.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, but first, they had zippers back then.
Yeah. It's 1936.
Why
not
do
like
I feel like we've Googled this before,
1400s.
like when zippers has...
Do I need to look it up?
Yeah,
I need to look it up.
Sorry.
I just fine.
My brain won't go anywhere else.
The zipper was invented technically in 1917, but it wasn't until 1923 that the name was first used.
Oh.
An American company called B.F. Goodrich Company used Sundback's design on boots and coined the term zipper.
Okay.
Goodrich came up with the name based on the noise a zipper makes when you use it.
It's the onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. I'm gonna wanna pee on you. Because of the jellyfish, obviously.
Yeah,
God, you guys don't make it weird. It's not like a fetish or anything. This is so weird to me. I feel like this is gonna be another thing that's gonna throw you off. Maybe not. Maybe I'm the weirdo. Am I the weirdo? The white rag he had donned over his face slipped down at some point during their encounter, revealing a full beard, high cheekbones, a dimpled chin, and a dark complexion. Swarthy was the word used repeatedly in FBI statements, and the man spoke with an accent later described as Southern European. So I'm guessing these kids were far more polite than many others of their time. That, or they simply couldn't quite place the man as, like, clearly he was Italian, clearly Spanish, or Greek neatly. Oh. They weren't sure what his ethnicity was.
I mean, that's kind of hard sometimes.
It is, and I feel like it's incredibly... If they didn't actually specifically, like, identify an ethnicity, I feel like that was, like, maybe a very... well, certainly a very good thing, because obviously this is a point in history when it's like, oh, we hate the Irish, you know what I mean? Like, anybody that they identify as being a threat, then that whole community comes under fire.
So
I'm thinking, true. Like, I don't know that these kids were aware of that, or like maybe it was just out of politeness that they don't know, so they're not, I have no idea, but I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want to send the public at large after an entire unsuspecting ethnic community, which is maybe something that people could learn from still today.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But probably won't.
Sometimes in some situations, which will remain nameless.
Okay. I'm thrown off by how they knew he had a dimpled chin if he had a full beard. Oh,
because I think even with like facial hair, like if he had stubble... Like, if he has, like, the butt chin.
I thought you said a full beard. I was thinking, like, a full beard. You can't see the chin.
Well, maybe he does, but maybe it was just stubble. I don't know. Like, that's still a full beard. Because beard, I feel like, describes, like, where...
like full beard is, like, a beard.
Yeah, no, I think they were just describing the location of the facial hair.
It wasn't, like, a goat.
Yeah.
That's a goatee for short.
You shouldn't... No, you need to say goatee because goat means something else.
No.
Yes, it does.
Not if you're clearly referencing beards.
Okay, well, I'm just saying people get confused and some things mean other things and maybe,
Everyone knows what I mean.
Just say the
I'm
word.
not talking about...
The greatest one of all time?
No, that's not what I'm talking about because he's clearly not.
No.
If he can't even grow a beard to cover his dimpled chin.
Hey, what you got against dimples?
Nothing. I have one.
I'm like trying to like... I don't have any.
No, don't look
at it. It's hideous.
They're so cute.
I'm very self-conscious about my temples. People are very weird about them.
I was trying to see mine and like I can't because I turned my head.
Oh. Oh, man. Okay. Also, like, I know I'm recently married, but does this dude sound vaguely hot? Kind of a little. I'm going to be honest. I think it's fine. Okay. We can be honest, right? Because this guy, hot or not, at the time is super dead by now. But I'm going to be honest. It kind of sounds like the FBI had a crush on him too, which is like, ew, FBI, be better. I'm a person. Okay. You're an entire organization. Do better.
Yeah.
Do better.
We all know the weakness for beards, but
yeah, that's not really a thing for me. It was more the swarthy. I don't know. Something about that. Like if you say swarthy,
yeah,
I'm like, do you mean sexy?
I wonder if it maybe had more of a negative connotation.
I think it
then.
did. Yeah, I think it did.
Because now we've just turned everything bad boy into sexy.
Yeah,
so
we're like, oh my God, that's so hot.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to the story. Very sad.
Okay.
Within minutes, the police were at the Mattson family home, followed by Dr. Mattson and his wife, Ruth, returning from their social function. Thankfully, detectives were able to collect a good description from the children who had seen the kidnapper's mask slip. The FBI then generated a drawing of the kidnapper that would be distributed far and wide on posters, in newspapers, as well as the law enforcement bulletin produced by same agency, the FBI. They're like, we're so cool, we make all the stuff.
They had the FBI back then?
No, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I've already talked about that. Like, I already talked about how they were involved. God. It's like, you don't even listen to me. Anyways.
Try not to.
Thank you. The Tacoma Police Department worked quickly searching the nearby area for Charles as well as his assailant. They believed the man to be roughly middle-aged, in his mid-30s to early 40s, standing about 5'7", weighing roughly 145 pounds. The man, if quickly discovered, would presumably still be accompanied by his victim, standing at just 4'6".
No.
Barely. Oh, barely taller than this kid. So basically within a margin of error compared to my own height, I say in my notes. We're different, but samesies. Little Charles had been seen wearing a gray sweater, blue knickerbockers, and house slippers. And you guys, if you're not totally sure what knickerbockers are, they're really a sight to behold.
No.
Wikipedia says they're a form of baggy-kneed breeches, particularly popular in the early 20th century United States. But honestly, if it weren't for the fact that most of the ones that I saw looked like they were made out of straight Brillo pads, I'd have to swear they were something smuggled off the set of a production of Aladdin.
Oh.
All of the pictures, you're like why would you make Aladdin pants out of like wool? Like something scratchier than wool. What's scratchier than wool? Like Brillo pads.
Yeah.
They look like they're, oh my God. It's so cute and old-timey, but they look so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So hot. So itchy.
You're very focused on the clothes in this episode.
I mean, I just was like, I don't know that I fully understand what knickerbockers are. I understand they're like pants, but then I was like, all right, we got to look further into this because obviously that's going to be the weird thing that Cassie and I focus on.
We were talking about the football clothes being scratchy.
Everything was so fucking scratchy.
But now I get like why they wore long johns under everything because they now had I get
why everybody looked fucking miserable in every picture they ever took. They were hot and itchy. And tired because they're wearing like 50 pounds of clothing.
I want to take some old-timey photos.
Okay.
But like
not
in old-timey clothing.
So you just want to use a sepia filter?
Yeah.
Sepia?
And an old camera.
Oh my gourd. We're quickly able to piece together that the kidnapper's most likely escape route was a getaway car on Ruston Avenue, which also suggested he may have had an accomplice.
Oh.
And though they were certainly near enough to a body of water that might have otherwise aided in the kidnapper's escape, it was unlikely that he had utilized a boat. As it turns out that on that particular Sunday night, it had been one of the lowest tides to occur all of that year.
Did he use an inner tube?
I don't think he would have been able to get away quickly in an inner tube. Have we not learned that?
He didn't talk to DB Tuber. He didn't rig a pulley system.
Oh my God. I think, yeah, no.
I had to.
I'm dying. Oh my gosh. Of course, the search would not prove fruitful in any case. But that didn't mean they had nothing to go on. The note recovered by detectives written by the kidnapper that had been left in the home proved interesting, if not necessarily particularly helpful to their case. It appeared to have been written on a child's toy typewriter, which I had no fucking idea existed, but it makes sense given the time. Listen, do me a favor. If anyone has one of these little curiosities just sitting around collecting dust, let me know. I will send you a prepaid shipping label because I wants it.
Who uses typewriters anyway?
No one does. It's a kid's typewriter, though.
Taylor Swift lyric. That is so cute. But like he used it for the worst thing ever.
Yeah, to kidnap a kid. So.
What a dick.
Yeah. I mean, he's garbage, but toy typewriter, adorable. Ugh. And I want one. I want one.
It would be perfect for your size.
It really would. Okay. The note had been typed up in a reportedly odd color ink. Not sure what color, but since it was probably dictated from a kid's typewriter, I feel like that probably checks out. At a glance, it seemed a little wandering and disjointed, but in truth, the in-depth analysis of the letter revealed that it was fairly well written and to the point, like most of my AP Comp assignments. Clearly, I have since diverged ever so slightly from Ms. Cole's typical coursework.
I was going to say, that makes one of us.
Yeah.
I don't think mine were coherent at all.
Yeah. I'm not being given college credit as a motivating factor for this podcast, but I am still driven by the 1 to 5 scale rating system. 5 stars, people. 5 stars.
Rate us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Exactly. I was like, how do I find myself here? It was like the most bizarre of tangents, but here we are. The demands of the kidnapper or naper. I don't like it. I really hate it when they say kidnapper. Stop it. Were stated clearly in the note. The price is $28,000. 10,000 in fives. And tens in $18,000. And then 50s and hundreds. Oh, wait, I read this wrong.
You read it backwards.
No, there's no punctuation and there's a lot of misspellings and the price is $28,000, $10,000 in fives and tens, $18,000 in 50s and hundreds. Old bills, please. That's how it's spelled.
Please?
Pleased. Pleasd. Could be a typo.
I was wondering, like, if he made a bunch of typos and had to keep ripping it out and restarting.
Yeah, he's like, nah, ain't nobody got time for that.
Wow.
Old bills, pleased. No new ones. Put ad in Seattle Times. Personal column. Read Mabel. What's your new address, Tim? Put this ad, Times, no other paper. If no answer from you within week, price goes up. Gauze up. Gauze up. G-O-S. Gauze up. Double. And double that each week after. Don't fail, and I won't. The boy is safe. Tim.
So his name is Tim.
Allegedly.
He wrote it twice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how likely it is that his real name is Tim, but
it's weird.
Yeah. It's riddled with spelling and grammatical errors, whereas my writing only contains careless typos, so you can see why I'd be perturbed.
I thought you said it was coherent. I feel like you were lying.
I mean, kind of. Like the point of it was there, but it's really hard to read without getting distracted by the grammatical and spelling errors. Yeah. So that's upsetting, aside from the whole thing of the life of a child hanging in the balance. Priorities. Maybe spell correctly and people will take your ransom note seriously. But honestly, they took it seriously regardless.
Yeah.
Oh. A few things to keep in mind regarding this case before we make our way to the conclusion. The ransom note appeared to not only be old, but dirty and lacking in specifics, leading investigators to believe it may have been drafted to use in a future kidnapping of convenience.
Oh, so you didn't type it up there.
Kidnappings were real popular. The kidnapping ransom scenario was the hottest thing. It was like, anyways.
I was thinking he typed up that thing there, on their toy typewriter.
I don't think so.
Why would you?
I think he used his own kid's typewriter.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Though there was a theory that the kidnapper may have originally intended to abduct John Franklin, the young son of George G. Franklin Jr. and wife Margaret, who had been the current residents of Hadaway Hall at the time, which happened to be the former residence of John Philip Weyerhaeuser Sr.
No shit.
Yeah.
What?
In fact, there were multiple break-in attempts by a man matching the kidnapper's description, lent credence to this theory. One of the two encounters also bore a striking resemblance to the Lindbergh baby case, as a ladder had been used in an effort to enter the young child's bedroom. In the second, the intruder appeared in a manner far more bold, firing a weapon as they fled.
Wow.
Both incidents were kept secret from the public, and the Franklin family left for an unscheduled sojourn to California shortly after. They're like, okay, bye forever.
God damn, dude.
Yeah. So it's possible that even though I'm sure they themselves were maybe quite wealthy, they may have been mistaken for members of the Weyerhaeuser family.
Wow.
Wild.
That is intense. That could have, not that I want it to happen to another family, but that could have happened to their family again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Senior was, I believe, the grandpa. So I don't know that any of the Weyerhaeuser children would have been living in that home at that time.
Yeah.
But just fucking wild.
Yeah.
The parallels. These cases happen so close together too. Wild.
Weird.
Congress passed the Federal Kidnapping Act, also known as the Lindbergh Law, on June 17, 1932, making interstate kidnapping a federal felony under the jurisdiction of the FBI. The law was in direct response to what appeared to be an increasingly profitable and popular racket, that of kidnapping for ransom, particularly that of the Lindbergh baby, which is not a case that ends well either.
Aww.
Until the kidnapping of Charles Mattson, there had been no major kidnappings involving the FBI since the kidnapping of none other than George H. Weyerhaeuser in Tacoma. also in fucking Tacoma. On May 24th, 1935. This was not that long after.
Yeah, wow.
We're talking like May 1935 and then December 1936.
I can't remember. Did those people get caught?
Sure did.
They did. Okay.
They
So
sure
why
did.
would you want to do it again if they got caught?
Well, I mean, it's different people. It's different people. It's not that, I mean,
yeah, but
who knows? There could be some crossover, but we're not sure.
Yeah. Oh.
The intrigue.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, that made it a very, very serious crime. So funny to me too, because until Charles was kidnapped, there had been no major kidnappings involving the FBI since George. And it's like, yeah, that was like 6 months ago, man. Like,
yeah.
It's like, wait, is that right? No, that was like 18 months ago.
But still.
JK, 18 months. I did the math.
She can math.
I can math. I just feel like that isn't really saying much. It's not that long of a period of time in between, but it is. It's like that is what kind of earmarks this case as like the next like super high profile crime in that era involving kidnapping and ransom. So, but in any case, once the FBI was notified of the abduction, they determined that the Federal Kidnapping Act had likely been violated, and immediately sent 9 agents to Tacoma to assist the police in the hunt for the kidnapper, who was declared public enemy number 1. Oh.
Not in a good way.
No. Which feels like an understatement when considering that within a week, FBI Director John Edgar Hoover dispatched roughly 40 agents to Tacoma. This is like, what? There's like, he sent like 50 people within like a week. So he's like, okay, we're going to send like 9 and then we'll send like 40 more.
Bet you do it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Along with the assistant director, Harold Nathan, to take charge of the investigation.
Yeesh.
Notably, Inspector Earl J. Connolly, who had successfully directed the Weyerhaeuser case roughly 18 months earlier, was sent from bureau headquarters to support the investigation.
Shit, dude. He's probably like, again?
All the same, journalists were all but foaming at the mouth to get the next bit of coverage pertaining to the case, just as had been true in the Weyerhaeuser case. Sadly, those shadowing his every move made it very difficult for Dr. Mattson to negotiate with the kidnapper. However, just days after Christmas, on Monday, December 28th, 1936, an advertisement appeared in the classified section of the Seattle Times, which read, "Mabel, please give us your address. Anne." Although the Mattsons denied knowledge of the ad, a special delivery letter arrived at the Mattson home Tuesday morning, which said that anyone could deliver the ransom money as long as the courier was alone and driving a Ford automobile. Further instructions said, ignore all messages delivered to you unless they are written in the same letters and the same ink as this. Tim.
Was there a lot of cars besides Fords back then?
I don't really think so.
Or did he just mean it had to be in a car?
I'm not really sure. It's
interesting.
Kind of, yeah. I was like,
not
okay.
Toyota.
Yeah.
Wait.
If you bring a Mitsubishi, a Mitsubishi.
I was going to say, that's so funny because I wanted to say that, but I knew like my mouth couldn't get the word out.
I was like, God damn it. I was so close.
You don't even want to see me attempt that word.
Mitsubishi. Wrong. I did want to see. Yeah, I know. I feel like if you say it with an Italian flair, it's all wrong, but very fun.
So wrong. Not right at all.
Yeah.
Don't cancel me, please.
Listen, if saying Mitsubishi that way is wrong, I don't want to be right.
When anything ends in like a vowel, like an I or something,
I want to give it the flourish.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, the authorities agreed to back off until such a time that the safe return of Charles could be secured. But still, the media persisted, attempting to report every last detail.
Ugh.
By January, dropping temperatures combined with increased snowfall in the area had the FBI concerned that the kidnapper might hold Charles indefinitely for fear of being easily tracked on account of the fresh flurries falling to the ground. Still, even as the weather cleared on Wednesday, January 6th, which is obviously a very, very sad day. Not in this case particularly, but
just in general.
Their fears could not be assuaged. I'm just going to say it again one time. Normal,
okay.
Just in case. Still, even as the weather cleared on Wednesday, January 6th, their fears could not be assuaged as the kidnapper still remained eerily silent.
Silent night.
Yeah.
Unholy night.
Unholy night for certain. The following day was the 11th day of Charles's captivity, and the family had no idea whether he might already be dead or, in fact, remained alive and unharmed. The news media continued to madly spiral, indeed essentially stalking the grief-stricken family.
Jesus.
Worried for the young Charles, while the authorities continued their non-interventionist strategy. Very popular in America in the 1930s and up to a certain point in the 40s as well.
So those 40 people were just sitting up there chilling.
I mean,
waiting.
They just were trying not to step on too many toes.
Yeah.
They were there and they were trying to investigate. And I mean, they're trying to do everything that they can. But, you know, I think at that point, we don't have the same level of experience and data and expertise that we do now about these types of scenarios. So they're like, well, I don't know. Maybe if we just back off, like everything will be fine.
It's hard to know what to do. It's kind of like literally if someone is holding a hostage at gunpoint right there, you can't shoot at them. Like, what do you do?
I mean, you can. Sometimes they do.
You're not supposed to, right?
I mean, it really depends. It's very situational. But yeah, by and large, they're not going to fire on someone who, but I don't know. I don't.
It's like you can't predict how someone's going to act.
No, you don't. I mean, and even if they don't see it coming, this could be something where it's like a twitch or a jerk once they're impacted by. Listen, I'm going to spiral. I'm going to go into a very dark place, darker than is already standard for. All up in here.
I'll pull you out.
You can't. No, I'm like the unicorn in what is that? The Never Ending Story?
I've never seen it.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, we have to move on. We have to move on.
I'm sorry.
A fifth classified ad was run by the Mattson family in the Seattle Times on Friday, January 8th, which read, Mabel, we are still waiting. All arrangements have been carried out in accordance with instructions contained in notes received. Be certain to give me information so I may guard against imposters and hijackers, and be more specific in your instructions. Anne. On Sunday, January 10th, and the following Monday, the same ad appeared with the addition of one sentence. In view of lapse of time, also desire new proof my son is alive and well. Anne. However, though the family remained unaware, sadly it was already too late for Charles. A rabbit hunter by the name of Gordon Morrow would later discover his body on January 11th, 1937. Just a few short miles from his family's home in a Snohomish County field. Gordon had stumbled across the body of a young boy in a state of undress, lying in the snow. He immediately ran home, alerting his father, Charles Morrow, to his horrific finding. Once he had inspected the scene, Charles sent his son to a gas station about a half-mile away to reach the Snohomish County Sheriff by phone to inform him of the gruesome discovery. Now remember, not everybody has a phone in their home at this point.
Wow.
A lot of people, maybe, and certainly in a wealthy community, not everybody. That poor kid, he was being run ragged.
Yeah.
The area where the body was discovered was just about a half mile from Pacific Highway, or 99, as literally everyone refers to it, to my knowledge.
That road over there.
That one. It had been left amongst a growth of alder saplings. Because there were both tire tracks and footprints found at the scene in the fresh snow, the investigators believed that the boy's body had been left there either late Sunday night or early Monday morning, having been killed elsewhere. Gordon Morrow thought the body was probably left about 9 p.m. on Sunday when his bulldog, Nick, started barking excitedly and running from door to door, trying to get out of the house.
Oh.
I know. He's like, someone needs my help. Oh. Something is afoot.
Listen to your dogs.
I know. I mean, it wouldn't have changed things.
No, it wouldn't have. But I'm just saying, like, they know something is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The young boy's body was kept in an ambulance at the crime scene until it was identified as Charles by Paul H. Siva, I'm going to guess on the pronunciation. He was a close family friend. And James Gowdy, a relative of the Mattsons. A preliminary examination of the remains conducted by Snohomish County coroner, which, wow, we're guessing on the pronunciation here a little bit. Stowell Shalacombe and King County coroner Otto H. Mittelstadt was able to determine that the boy's likely cause of death was blunt trauma to his head with a heavy instrument. The report further detailed the condition of Charles's body, stating that the bruises on the body indicated he had been handled roughly, which I think we could have told you that from as soon as he was taken from the home. And marks on the wrists showed his hands had been bound tightly with rope. They thought Charles had died no later than Thursday, and possibly only a short time after his abduction. Abrasions, grease marks, and dirt on the skin indicated the frozen body had been hauled around in the trunk of an automobile.
Like, what the fuck is the point? I thought you wanted money.
I mean, sometimes they think they can still get money, and a lot of times they use the ransom as a guise because what they really want to do is take a child.
It seems like it.
Yeah. On Monday night, at the FBI's direction, pathologists performed a formal autopsy at the Buckley King Funeral Home in Tacoma, which revealed that in addition to the massive head injuries, Charles had also sustained a stab wound in the back with a long-bladed knife. Below freezing temperatures had prevailed in the region for nearly a week, keeping the body from decomposing and making it impossible to determine the time of death. But blue clay on the boy's face and hands indicated the body had probably been hidden on a riverbank or near mudflats. During a press conference on Tuesday, Paul Siva, that's the family friend who acted as a spokesman for the family, told reporters that the wary kidnapper had communicated at least 3 times with Dr. Mattson by mail and telephone. But as days passed, his communications were confusing and conflicting, and Dr. Mattson was unable to get clear instructions on how to deliver the ransom. In early January, Dr. Mattson attempted a rendezvous at a secret location on Beacon Hill in Seattle. But there had been a snow-related traffic accident nearby, attracting the attention of several passersby, and kidnapper, apparently fearing a trap, failed to appear, and the negotiations ended abruptly.
Oh, no.
On January 14th, the funeral for Charles H. Mattson was held at the Buckley King Funeral Church. The 25-minute service, conducted by Reverend Harold B. Long, pastor of the Emmanuel Presbyterian Church, was attended by family and some 200 friends. After which, the body was interred in a crypt at the Tacoma Mausoleum.
Wow, 200 people?
Well over 200 people.
That's crazy.
Included among the scores of floral tributes was a large arrangement of roses and gardenias from FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover.
Oh.
Still a dick. Meanwhile, both local police and FBI agents were still working to collect any information or evidence and pursuing any lead they could find. They tracked down the usual suspects, such as numerous known criminals, questioning scores of possible suspects. They even looked for stolen cars or potential hideouts and literally any other clue. While search parties had found a number of items that appeared promising that were then collected and analyzed by the FBI, it all seemed to lead precisely nowhere. By January of 1937, the story was no longer front page news, and the leads began to slowly dry up. Among the items discovered were a stolen, blood-stained automobile, a kitchen knife, as well as a shack where a number of clothing items, both boys' and men's clothing, some of them bloody, were found. It was believed that any of these items may have been used by the kidnapper, but still nothing more materialized.
It seems like they literally found all of the things but the guy who did it.
Yep. On Saturday, January 16th, 1937, Dr. Mattson issued his first written statement about the kidnapping, which was both published in newspapers and broadcast on the radio. First, he thanked the public for its support and praised law enforcement for their tireless efforts. Then Dr. Mattson commented on the behavior of the news media. True enough, I did have to beg the press to lay off, and it was trying at times to carry on under an overly avaricious news service. But they did withdraw when I requested them to and continued to cooperate with me in every way. And for this, I am thankful.
Wow.
Yeah, some other people, we'll talk about it in the Patreon mini-sode. There are some other people with other opinions. And not just me. Although law enforcement authorities make every effort, the kidnapping and murder of Charles Mattson has never been solved and remains an open case at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. As of 1961, over 25,000 suspects have been investigated and eliminated, according to the final page of the piece entitled Protecting the Innocent, Law Enforcement's Sacred Task, by none other than J. Edgar Hoover. It's housed in the Notre Dame. I like Dame. Notre Dame Law Review.
25,000? Is that normal?
I'm going to go with no.
That's a lot of people.
When it's presumably a stranger abduction, you have a much larger pool.
Wow.
Yeah. So for anybody that finds themselves obsessed with the John Bonet case. I mean, I get it, but also like, hello.
I mean, we know who did it.
I don't. I have theories, but we're not going to get into that. All I'm saying is pineapple kills people.
What?
Pineapple is a major aspect of that case.
I don't remember that part.
Oh my god. Yep. Nope. It's a
been a
whole ass thing.
It's been a while.
Well, maybe we'll have to talk about it.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I've never really thought about covering Jean Bonnet.
I don't know where it's at.
Colorado, I believe. Yeah. Technically in our jurisdiction. Yeah.
Our jurisdiction.
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading so much of J. Edgar Hoover's stuff here that I think I got a little.
Did you love it?
Ugh.
Was it the best thing you
He's
ever
kind of the
read?
worst. I mean, he definitely tried to do right by this family, but
I mean, he sent
he sucks.
flowers. He had his assistant send flowers.
Yeah. Any hoozle. Should we get to some tarot?
Yeah, let's do tarot. Let's get it. I'm happy to do tarot.
She's like, okay,
Are
bye.
we done? Let's go. Oh no, that was so sad.
I know.
The poor family.
The youngest child too. Can you imagine? And then they have a friend there.
Yeah, I was.
They have a
just
friend there
thinking
that witnesses that. Like, holy shit! Is she your BFF forever?
I don't know.
Trauma
bonded. We've talked about it. You don't have to stay together, but
or does that just like become this thing that like is so huge, your relationship just cannot bridge that divide? And I actually have in the Patreon minisode, there is something so incredibly tragic about this case that predates even Charles's birth. And I don't want to give too much away, but holy fucking shit. When will people stop fucking with the Mattsons? I can't. This poor family.
I wish they would never fuck with them.
Yeah. Like, zero fucking about with the Mattson family. Stop it. So sad.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, tarot first and then minisode?
Let's do tarot.
Yeah. Okay. The Three of Wands in the reverse.
Yeah. Okay. Have to know what bird it is.
I think it's a hawk.
You're a hawk. I don't know.
Okay.
It is. Red-tailed hawk adult. It specifies an adult.
Okay, I think we've gotten this one before and we've read about the hawk.
Oh, because we've got the Two of Wands is a red-tailed hawk, a fledgling.
Oh.
That's why. Okay. I assume that's not an adult. A fledgling. Is that like an adolescent?
Like a baby. Just a little baby.
It's not called a chick?
My candle went out.
Oh.
Well. All right, we're going to keep it moving. Our keywords for the Three of Wands are creativity and skill, self-expression, growth, competence, and manifestation. It's interesting. Okay. Now is the time to show the world what you can do. You've worked hard to develop your talents and have confidence in your abilities. I really hate this in the application of a kidnapper.
It is reverse. I'm curious about the reverse interpretation of this.
Oh, okay. You feel passionately about what you do and believe you can inspire others. Express yourself. Okay.
We've definitely gotten this before. I think we had the same reactions. Like, ooh.
Yeah. Icky. Okay. Ooh. Okay. There's an extra excerpt before the reverse interpretation. It says, hidden alliances work to move you into your authentic vocation as soon as you begin to commit to it.
That
again, I hate it.
Automatically reminds me of what you said about how there might have been a getaway driver. Like other people might have been involved. And he has stayed like hidden, like he had a mask.
Ooh, I hate that.
Obviously, like this card is putting like a positive spin on it, but we know we're gonna relate it to this story, and it's not positive.
Okay. You still have work to do before you go public with your ideas. Oh no. Like maybe your generic, poorly written demand letter isn't ideal.
It needed work. Definitely.
Perhaps you could benefit from honing your skills.
Honing your kiddo typewriter skills.
Oh no, I hate that. Some areas of an undertaking still need clarification. Oh my God, they literally asked for clarification in the instructions from.
Yeah. And it's unsolved.
Yep. Okay. Or you may need to win the support and blessing of others in order to advance.
You needed to get the, well, okay. I don't know what I was going to say there about that.
Okay. I'm going to read the bullet points, and then I might want to draw another card. In a question about money, this card can mean the financial support you need isn't there at this time.
Well,
you might have to work extra hard for a while to make ends meet. Be prudent in spending.
Oh, gosh.
In a reading about work, the reversed 3 suggests you're not ready yet to market your project/ideas. You feel passionately about what you're doing, but you still have to convince other people to get on board. Yuck. For artistic people, this card advises don't give up your day job yet.
Well, yeah, don't kidnap people.
Yeah, don't do that professionally or otherwise. Ideally,
I should say kidnap and murder because it was not just
Oof. Okay. This romantic bullet, I don't know how applicable this is.
Probably not. This was the reverse bullets.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like something that you're trying to do that isn't going right. Yeah. Basically.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Oof. Well, that sucks.
I am going to draw another card.
Not that the card sucks.
Yeah. This one like wants us.
It wants it. It's eager.
The 2 of Cups in reverse. Okay.
Ooh, a hawk. He was like maybe watching the place.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good connection. This one also has birds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 2 of Cups. Oh, that's like the really happy card.
It is. It was in reverse.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh, this makes sense, though, I think. Oh. Okay. 2 of Cups. Keywords are partnership, harmony, creative exchange, and cooperation. In many decks, the 2 of Cups shows a man and woman holding chalices as if toasting each other. The card represents joining forces with someone either romantically or in a creative/spiritual endeavor.
This card keeps coming up when we were talking about your wedding.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh. You share a common dream, interest, or passion and can work together to bring it into being. We kept getting it in the upright, I feel like, as opposed to now we're drawing it in the reverse. Mm-hmm. Both of these cards are in reverse.
It just makes me think that he did have like a partner.
Yeah. I think that seems like maybe a fair assumption. I don't know.
I mean, I don't have all of the evidence, but
yeah, but I think it makes sense. And the fact that the investigators believed that based on the fact that it looks like he fled to a car, right around the corner, essentially.
And the tarot is saying it. So like it must be true.
So, I mean, facts. Am I right? Mutual respect and equality exist between you. Oof. Okay. All right. So our reversed interpretation. When the 2 of Cups appears reversed, It suggests disharmony and a lack of cooperation. I'm picturing two kidnappers just kind of bickering.
Yeah.
Like the guys from Home Alone or something.
Yeah.
You know, just like real dumb.
It kind of seems like it because of all of the miscommunication with the ransom and stuff. And like maybe one of them did want to hurt the child and one of them didn't. And
I mean, you see that a lot where just kind of they're not aligned. They're both interested in collecting ransom or a reward, but they don't have the same values in terms of like, I don't want to hurt the kid. And the other guy's like, I don't really care.
Yeah. So maybe just like don't do crime.
Yeah. So just like don't. So just maybe don't. Oof. Okay. It may mean a partnership takes a while to get going or that you run into obstacles. In some cases, it indicates dwindling affection, inequality, or a lack of supportiveness in a relationship. In a reading about money, the reverse 2 can signify an uneven investment of resources. It can also represent complications or a delay in receiving money.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
Especially from a joint venture, trust, divorce settlement, or legacy.
Or ransom.
That's a little, that feels kind of on the nose.
Wow.
If the reading is about your job, this card may mean you don't feel a business partner is pulling his or her weight, or you don't get the support you desire. It can also point to a lack of cooperation in your workplace. In a reading about love, the reverse 2 sometimes represents a secret liaison, or it may point to a period of disharmony or cooling affection. Perhaps there's a lack of balance or equality in a relationship.
All of that sounds right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I feel like the kind of the takeaway from both of those cards now it kind of makes a little bit more.
Yeah.
It feels like that hits.
Okay, I was thinking like what if he is someone who like migrated over here but like with no paperwork or something. That's why they couldn't find him.
Oh.
Cuz he like had no record.
Maybe.
I feel like that's back then like it was easier to get into the country without anyone knowing. Right?
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot more tomfoolery that could be afoot.
Yeah, and it says travel here. So interesting. I think I solved it.
Solved it.
The hawk hopped off the ledge idly, unperturbed that their motion was more falling than taking flight. Oh my God.
Oh.
That's like kind of funny. Because it's like he's just like fumbling through this thing, like knocking on the door and then deciding to break it.
Well, and then not to mention too, like they talked about that really steep embankment at the back end of their property.
It reminds me of like Princess Bride where they would just like roll down the hill.
Little bit, right? I mean, I don't know. That's kind of, it's interesting. The visual aspect of that is.
It also like reminds me of myself getting out of the car because I'm like really bad at getting out of the car. I just kind of like fall out.
I'm really bad at getting out.
Why is that so hard?
Mostly bed, but like sometimes the car. I don't know.
They smoothly extend their wings into the turbulence, calmly feeling for the familiar support of the air. Catching it in their feathers, they directed the momentum of their fall into an upward curve. On a rising wind, they circled higher until they could see the curvature of the horizon and the world laid out before them.
Oh, wow.
Once stepping from solidarity into the sky had been daunting and dangerous. Now the hawk knew that the risk was not in taking the leap, it was in staying still.
Oh.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because that like ransom. You can't just sit there.
Well,
you have to do something.
Yeah.
Oh. It reminds me of like all the FBI agents there too, like trying not to get in the way too much, but also not wanting to like sit there and do nothing.
Yeah. Like the push and pull of the situation.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And like the risk too of this bird leaping into the air and trying to fly. It's like the risk of doing something and risking this child's life.
Yeah. Wow. I hadn't really thought about it from, I guess, that perspective. That's interesting.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing. I didn't do this.
She did it.
I do worse. No.
Yeah,
you do
I mean,
worse. That's not true
I don't
at
know.
all.
It's debatable.
No.
It's debatable. Oh.
Do you have anything else?
No, I have some other notes that I'm gonna we'll go through and we'll do our little mini-sode for the Patreon, but
okay.
Other than that, no, we have like so many mini-sodes to catch up on too. So
yeah, Patreon, we're coming.
It's a good time. It's a good time to be on the Patreon.
We did just do a Patreon bonus. We released one on, I think it was Friday that I posted it. So
that sounds right.
Yeah. That was yesterday. Oh my God, it's Saturday. What is happening?
Seriously.
Back on Friday when I posted that.
Well, and when did that episode come out? Because I was like, oh, that's like a little while back.
It was the targeted terror, the Hornstein family's nightmare. Ooh. It was a bonus about that. So
another fun case that I have covered.
But the bonus, it's not as terrifying as the original.
No, I've been trying to find do a little bit of like kind of a deep dive, and sometimes you just come across like an article that talks about a case or like someone involved in it from a totally different angle than everything else that you're reading, or a very specific point in like the timeline, or I don't know, something that just doesn't always like fit neatly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to make this a 2-parter, especially because it's like, this is like 1.125 parts really, if you if you add it all up. But there's a lot of, I'm super excited for you to hear this mini-sode, because I think there's some synchronicity stuff that's gonna like kind of it's gonna knock your socks off, baby.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's go do
that.
All right, should we say goodbye to the people?
Yeah. Let's say bye to the regular creepy people.
Where are our manners?
Have a creepy ass day.
See you next Tuesday. Ugh, man. Please don't ask for a ransom, I guess.
Unless you're falling down a hill yelling for $28,000.
I mean, ugh. No, still no. Also, no.